first act of God was his creation. It was perfect plan. In the beginning there was nothing. It was void of shape or sound. The result, God's handiwork, are the scene of the earth, the stars and the water. God made absolutely everything. God created Adam and Eve in his image, created human beings to be relational. He gave men and women living souls so that they could communicate and interact with God.
God gave the mankind the authority to rule over the earth, just as he has dominion over all of the creation. They were told to spread out over all the earth and fill it with people.
There was a perfect, intimate relationship that existed between mankind and God in the beginning. Everything was perfect, everything was good. Adam and Eve interacted daily with God, and God fulfilled all of the human being needs. Peace reigned when Adam and Eve were in the right relationship with God.
Adam and Eve were created by God, but they sinned and damaged and spoilt God's creation. This was mankind's sins against God. This is how it happened.
I am the Lord your God, and I want you to increase in number. I give you every green plant for food, and you may eat from the tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. If you eat of it, you will die.
Eve, did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?
He said we may eat from any tree, but we must not eat fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden, or even touch it, or we will die.
You will not surely die, because God knows that when you eat it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good from evil.
That sounds good, and because the fruit looks so delicious, I'm going to try some. Adam, come here and taste this fruit, it's delicious.
Thank you, Eve. You're right, Eve. It tastes really good.
Adam, where are you? Why did you disobey me and eat from the tree? I told you not to.
It was Eve who gave the fruit to me.
Eve, what is this that you have done? It was serpent who deceived me and I ate it. You serpent are now cursed above all animals and will crawl on your belly and eat dust of all the days of your life. You Eve will have pain when giving birth. You Adam will have to work hard for your food. Because you have sinned against me, you can no longer remain in this beautiful, peaceful garden, so now you are on your way.
Eve was tempted by Satan to eat from the tree of life, which God commanded them not to do. Adam and Eve rebelled against God and sinned, wanted to be in charge and gods themselves. The perfect relationship between human beings and God was broken. God was grieved, so God banished Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. But God's love for people was still evident in two facts. When he sent them out of the garden, he clothed them in skins of animals. God made a sacrifice and covered the sins of these two people. The second evidence of his love is that he made a promise to send a saviour from their future generations that would crush the head of Satan.
Adam and Eve had two children, Cain and Abel, and the sins of their parents were passed on to their children. Cain became bitter when his brother Abel offered a better sacrifice to God than he did. Instead of changing his sacrifice, he became jealous and furious. Cain attacked and murdered his own brother Abel, even though Abel had done nothing wrong. Later, God gave another son to Adam and Eve, Seth. God's promise could not be carried out through Cain because of his sin, and thus it came through the descendants of Seth.
Mankind no longer enjoyed a good relationship with God or his fellow man. Sin spread and continued in a downward spiral to the point that God was determined to destroy all life. God looked down and saw that all the thoughts of man were only evil all the time. But there was Noah, a man who found favour in God's eyes, a righteous man who desired to live in a holy relationship with God. God gave instructions for Noah to build an ark which was to be the means of escape from destruction. The ark would save Noah and his sons and all their wives, as well as 2 of every kind of animal and bird. God sent a flood to destroy all of the wickedness. God brought an end to all of the wickedness and evil of mankind through the flood, but kept Noah safe in the ark until the flood was over. He then established a new covenant with Noah, promising that he would never again destroy all of life with a flood. The rainbow serves a sign of this covenant. God commanded the descendants of Noah to spread out and subdue the earth. In direct disobedience to God, they built a tower so that they could reach to the heavens and be like God. It would keep them all together and bring glory to themselves. God did not allow them to continue in disobedience, so he confused their language and made many languages. Since the people could not understand one another, they separated and moved apart. This was the beginning of the nations. Up to this point, the Bible has recorded the history of the entire world from this point onward. Scripture follows God's interaction with one man and his descendants.